So it's about 8 o'clock on Tuesday, and I'm finally deciding to get out of bed. I've been up for a while, pretty much all night. I didn't get too cold, even though Rod is telling me that it's 27 degrees out right now. I didn't really get too cold until, I don't know, about 4 o'clock in the morning. It's just, the ground is so hard that I was twisting and turning like every hour. I'd get up and I'd have to switch positions. I'd sleep. I think maybe I got like 30 minutes sleep, and then I'd lay there for 30 minutes and switch positions, and then 30 minutes sleep. I'm thinking that's how it went. But yeah, pretty much from 7 to 1 o'clock every hour, I was up, and I think I may have slept between 1 and 3, or 1 and 4 rather, because I got up at 4, having to switch to a new position. I'd been sleeping on my back and on my left side, and I hadn't been able to sleep on my right side at all, or lay on my right side, but I finally forced myself to do it. But anyway, it was at 4 when I got cold, and that I woke up then because I was cold. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, Rod said it's 27 degrees. I accidentally left my new filter out, and apparently these filters can get damaged if they're frozen. So I've got it in my sleeping bag now, but it may be too late. The damage may be done. My shoes, as you can see, my shoes are frozen. So yeah, I'm not sure how this is going to work. I guess I'll put my cotton socks on and try to slip into my shoes and get up and get out of here. Oh, jeez. It's too bad I didn't bring my Crocs. Really regretting not bringing my Crocs. If I had brought my Crocs, I wouldn't have to worry about this. I could get up, move around. Typically I like to wait until the sun hits my tent to get up, but it's probably going to be another hour before the sun actually hits our campground. So it's about 8:45, and it's still 32 degrees out. Rod has headed out to the water. That was going to be my original plan. I was going to try to get up early, like 7 o'clock, and hit that flat area because I figured there'd probably fish moving in there. But it's just too cold for that. My shoes are frozen, so I've got them out, and hopefully the sun is going to come up and well, they won't dry them out, but at least they'll unthaw. Now you're probably wondering, well, Jim, why do you have them there? Why aren't you putting them out in that grass where there's a lot more sun? The reason being because that grass has frost all over it. And I'm walking around in my bare feet, trying to keep my feet dry. So I figure if I can keep my feet dry, I can keep them warm. Now eventually I'm going to have to put on those cold, wet shoes. And yesterday I was happy to walk around barefoot in them, but that was yesterday afternoon, and it was warm out. And right now, it's not warm. So I don't know. I'm thinking I'm gonna hang out here for a bit, let things warm up, see how fast it warms up. If it doesn't warm up too fast, then I'll just slip them on, and I'll leave my socks and my silk liners. So I've got some silk sock liners on, so that should give me some insulation. And then I've got these. They're like a cotton polypro mix. Not the greatest for insulation. But they are comfortable. Anyway, so yeah. So what I'll do, I'm gonna eat and then hang around here. Hope it warms up. I am gonna go cut some firewood, I think, for tomorrow. So that tomorrow morning or tonight we've got some firewood. Should we need it? It'd be nice. It would be nice to have some firewood and have a fire going right now. Now tomorrow we're going to leave, so we probably won't want to do that because you start a fire, it's probably going to just take you an extra hour to get out of here. It's only going to be a 4.5 a 5-hour hike back, so not terrible. If we leave here at like 8 or 9 o'clock, get home early afternoon, or get back to the car early afternoon, that puts me home in the early evening. So yeah, I know I'm rambling, but I don't have much to say. Last night was uneventful. I mean, it was an embrace the suck moment, and I did. I didn't get too cold. I didn't feel like I was losing a lot of heat through the ground. It was uncomfortable though. The ground was hard, and I'm gonna have a lot harder time tonight because I can feel bruising on my hip and on my butt. So yeah, we'll see how that goes tonight. It didn't get cold until I didn't feel cold until 4 o'clock. I mean, really what happened was I went to bed at 7. The sleeping bag was warm from being in the sun all day. I zipped it up. I was nice and toasty. I got up to go to the bathroom. I think it was probably 12:30, and I lost a whole lot of that heat. Got back in, still warm, but not as warm. Then I got up at 4, and at 4 it was really cold. And went to the bathroom, lost all of that heat, and then got back in, and yeah, I was cold because my body wasn't generating enough heat to keep me toasty warm. I wasn't that cold. I wasn't that cold, but I had cold spots. My hands were cold. So tonight it's probably gonna be colder. It might actually rain. It was one of the reasons I didn't sleep last night, and the ground aside, was the fact that the moon was out, and the moon had just lit up the back of my tarp, and it was like being in a lit room last night, and probably until about 2 o'clock, and then things got a little bit better, and then when I was up at 4, it was like the moon was almost gone. But yeah. I'm happy with the fishing I had yesterday. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross the creek today. I'm going to make a beeline for the main trail and try to stay out of the bog as much as possible. Hit the D side of the lake and the beach, and fish that, and then come back to camp and chill out. I'm having a hard time getting into my bear canister right now. Everything's sort of cold and slick, and I just can't get into it. But yeah, that's the plan for today. I didn't mention it, but yesterday I was really hungry, and that is not a normal thing for me, to be hungry during a trip. I'm not quite sure why that is, especially since the day before I had just gorged myself on junk food. Didn't think I'd be hungry. But yeah, so I'm not hungry right now, but I got plenty of food. Well, I finally put my shoes on, and it's like it's like putting your feet in 2 blocks of ice. I'm gonna go out and look for some fallen timber and cut some firewood. Now I've brought my dark timber crow, and while I could probably chop through some pretty big wood with it, that's not what I want to do. I just want to find maybe something up to 2 inches wide, and just cut a bunch of small stuff so we can get something going fast and hot, and then put it out. There's a lot of fallen stuff like this that I can just turn over and just grab stuff off of. And where I can't pull it off, and that's where the crow will come into play. Gathering small bunches and bringing them back to camp. It'll help warm me up. Not that I'm cold. I'm actually not very cold at all. My feet are cold, but I've got this polypro shirt on that I picked up in Nepal, and these things are just amazing. They've got this, you can see these little squares, they trap air. They're incredibly insulating on the inside and the outside. And then I've got my silk underneath that, and I've got this on, so I'm not cold at all, and I haven't been. If it gets colder, I've still got a down jacket and another wool shirt, so I'm doing okay. Yeah, that's pretty easy. This stuff is pretty dry. Okay, I see another fallen tree up there, so that'll be next. So we haven't had any trouble with any critters. I mean, we haven't really seen anything other than ducks. Heard a bunch of coyotes this morning, and I may have heard a mountain lion earlier this morning as well. It was hard for me to tell. You know, mountain lions, sometimes they have a sound that sounds like a, you know, like a little girl, and I might have heard that. Hard to tell. See, there's all this fallen stuff. Now some of this is going to be pretty dry. I think others of it is going to be wet because, you know, stuff like this sitting here in the marsh. But I can drag this back to camp and I can cut this up. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I think that small pile I've got over there and this, once I get it all cut up, should be enough for anything that we decide to do. So first things first, I'm going to break all the thin pieces into smaller pieces. This stuff is pretty dry, so you know, I can just break it off. Break all these little tiny pieces. Use that for kindling. Break all these up. Yeah. Should be done in no time at all. Do I have anything to use as a baton? I don't. Well, I think that's more than enough. Maybe we'll have a fire tonight, because that's a lot of wood. A lot of wood for tomorrow. I mean, these would burn longer than we would probably want to hang out tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see. This crow makes it easy to cut up stuff that's about this size. You know, I was not putting forth much effort at all. The only thing I need to worry about is some of this wood, like this, still a little damp. So I've just got to keep an eye on the knife and make sure it doesn't rust. But we'll be home tomorrow. I'll oil it up, and it should be all good. It's 10:15, and it's plenty warm out now. I mean, I was walking around a little bit ago without my shirt on, so I'm gonna head up to the lake. You know, I could probably, you know, kill some more time looking for fat wood, but I think this tree right here in front of my tarp has so much resin on it that I think I can come down here and, you know, scrape some of this off from this root and start the fire with that. And if not, I've got plenty of fire starting stuff, so not too worried about that. Okay, 10:30, and I'm heading up to the lake. I noticed yesterday that my leader wasn't turning over, so once I get up there, I'm going to put on a new leader. See if I can cross without getting wet. Huh, this looks different than yesterday. Different than what I remember. Ball, ball, ball. Whoop. Okay, so right foot, left foot. There we go. Or other way around. Haha, I did it. Hot dog. So, heading straight up to the trail and then over. And you know, the trail goes through marshy areas as well, but a little more worn, and it's a little bit higher, and so it avoids some of this, you know, some of this really, really mucky stuff. By going the trail, however, I will miss that entire section where I was catching fish yesterday. A little hazy out today. Hard to believe, looking from this angle, with the ground as solid as it is here, that, you know, just past that rock is just a soggy, boggy mess. I don't see any fish rising in there, though. And here's the lake. No muss, no fuss, at least not yet. I can't really tell, but that could be rod over there by the beach. The beach is good fishing, and that's where I'm going to head first, and then I'll make my way back. Me being me, I can't pass up a chance to look into the lake over here, seeing as I couldn't really see what was going on here yesterday, so I'm going to do that. But of course, it's bog time. Yeah, this looks pretty amazing. Question is, are there fish cruising? And it doesn't really look like it. I bet in the morning when the temps were down and the sun was up, I bet this was loaded with fish. Not seeing fish, not spooking fish. That's a little disappointing. Well, nothing here, but you know, that's why I like sight fishing so much, because you can investigate a place and choose to move on fairly quickly because you're not seeing any active fish. You know, last night when I couldn't see into the water, you know, I mean, the temptation was to sit here and just flog the water, which I'm glad I didn't do. Finally, a fish. And he's going to the surface. Okay. Well, I didn't change my leader yet. What the heck? Where'd he go? Fooling with my fly. And I lost him. Shoot. Okay, well. Wow. I don't know where he went. And he's probably up there going at the pace that he was going. Yeah, I don't see him, and he was moving fast. I need to change my leader so I get some turnover, or else I'm never going to be able to present to these fish. Okay, heading back to the trail and going around the lake. Who am I fooling? I'm not gonna head to the far side of the lake without checking out the bank first. This bank, if I remember correctly, this bank can be pretty good over by those willows, actually. Got a nice weed bed. I might fish off that rock, throw a couple casts. Okay, so gonna hang out this weed bed, swap my leader. So I'm gonna put on a 7.5 foot 4X, and then I'll put another 18 inches of 18 or 24 inches of 4X tippet. And I'll make a few prospecting casts, and then I'll keep moving. So I just spooked a fish. I tripped over a stick, came flying into this opening, and I spooked him. And I don't see him anymore. Shoot, that was a good fish, and it was right up on the bank. And I came up over this little creek, tripped on a stick, and kind of like did one of these things into this opening. Bummer. I'm gonna make a few prospecting casts just for the heck of it. Maybe, maybe he's just sitting under those weeds. I got a follow and a rejection on both flies. I'm fishing the calabatus nymph that I was fishing yesterday, as well as a stillwater nymph, because I know there are damsels in the weeds. And again, another reason why I should have brought waders. I do remember wading out here and fishing back to this brush, because the fish were hanging out underneath the brush. So I've lost track of Rod. He was moving pretty fast. I thought I saw him land a fish. I don't know if he's moving so fast. Maybe he's just not finding anything consistent. Where is he? I don't see him. Well, I found the fish. And they are over here, like I said. Yeah, look at that. Okay. I guess I'm getting brushy and wet. Okay, this is going to be interessant. I guess I could go back the other way and then make my way down, but... And I guess, yes, I could also use my knife and cut my way through here, but I don't want to leave anything permanent. Okay, so can I get in here without spooking the fish? That's the question. Okay, there's a fish right there. I'll let him go by. Actually looks like a rainbow. That's odd. Okay, well, of course they're gone. There were a mess over here. There's one. See if we can get it done. There's a small one there. That might be the one that looked like a rainbow. I think I'm going to try for that. Where'd he go? That was not what I wanted. Maybe I'll shorten my leader. Okay, he's going for it, and nada. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off. Got one. Not huge. And I had to, that looks like a rainbow. What the? No, it's a brown. Okay. It's just the colorations, I guess. Yeah, that's a nice fish. I got him on the stillwater nymph with no action. But, you know, if he hadn't been close enough for me to see him, I wouldn't have hooked that fish. So I'm not gonna throw them out there and just leave them. Maybe I'll slow my retrieve though. Okay, another one on a very slow retrieve. I was about to leave because I don't see any fish here anymore. Pretty acrobatic browns. Come on. I'm ready to bring him in. It's a nice fish. There we go. It's a nice brown. Oh. I'm going to walk back this way since I first saw the fish over here, and then I'm going to walk down that way. I can't, because of the glare, I can't see into the water here. So hopefully I'm not spooking them with my little wake here. Okay, I'm into another one. Oh, this time he took the Calvatus. Oh, that might be a little better fish. And he's off. Another one all about the same size. I think I'm gonna have to move on to find bigger fish. Well, this is a pretty one. Chill, 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 chill. Looks like Rod's fishing the inlet. I wonder if there are any pre-spawners in there. So it looks like I found a slew of 12-inch fish. There we go. Ah. And the bite's been pretty consistent. Slow retrieve, stop, slow retrieve, stop. Yeah, I can see like 3 fish right there. And they're not as spooky as they were yesterday. Whoops, or maybe not. That was a bad cast. There we go. Yeah, I'm spooking them. So I guess I'll throw a couple more casts in here, and then I'll just work my way out that way. It's getting late. It's 12:15, so I am due for lunch. Doesn't look like I'm going to catch any here. And when the wind comes up, it's been a little bit more difficult. Probably because it's pulling the fly faster than the fish want. But when the wind's down, it's been a pretty consistent pattern. Ah. There we go, that's better. Yeah, see, I can see them. They're all like milling around it. They don't want to take the chance. Oh, that one probably hit it. Oh, ah, yeah, he was on. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple steps up, so I'm more lateral to these guys. Wind's picking up, dragging the fly. There we go. Oh, this might be the smallest one yet. Yeah, this dude's tiny. It's got some weird thing going on with his jaw there. Huh, I don't know what that is. But I think it's time to move up. I can see a bigger fish right over there. So let's see if we can get him. Okay. There's a bigger fish in there. Or at least there was before I moved into position. Let's see if we can do anything. And the wind is messing with my cast. Okay. So I'm not letting it drop. I'm catching up with the fly, and then I'm starting my retrieve immediately. And it's a figure of 8 retrieve for 5, and then a pause. And then he's right there at it. A couple of them are right there at it. Here we go. Oh, nope, that wasn't committed. Okay. Come on. That's better. Nope. Okay, I think it's time to move on. Time for lunch. Another one on the stillwater nymph. Definitely hardy fish. Yep, that's a pretty... Whoa, 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 whoa. It's a pretty hardy fish. Okay. I don't know, maybe I'm having too much fun to go eat lunch. $12:30. I'll go eat lunch. These fish aren't going anywhere. Okay, that looks like a pretty big fish. I'm gonna spook him. Ow. Can't get my fly out fast enough. And where'd he go? Crap. Took my eye off him. There he is. Ah, crap. What did I hit on my back cast? Did that make him turn? No. Another one. Another one turned. There we go. That's not the one I wanted, but... Yep. Oh, we got a double on. Rod's got one and I've got one. Yeah, it's been pretty consistent for me. Okay, go little guy, go. Didn't catch that big guy. So lunch is the second half of my roast beef sandwich, which no doubt froze last night. Now hopefully is not frozen. Ah, good to go. Okay, going back to the hillside where I saw that big fish. See if it's still here. I'm not seeing him, not yet. I would guess that big fish is gone. I caught a smaller fish, or two smaller fish that were pretty nice, and now I'm moving down the bank. So I forgot to mention, but yeah, I'm on the beach. So this is the beach section, and hopefully I'll get in some nice fish here. You can see it kind of drops off there, but I'm going to make some casts over this weed bed, see what happens. Instead of casting over the weed bed, because almost certainly during my retrieve I'd snag it, I'm going to come over here to this point and cast across to it. Now the water here is deeper, and I hadn't been letting it drop. I may need to do that here. There we go. Now let's get him out of the weeds. Out of the weeds, come on, out of the weeds. Oh no. Come on, out of the weeds, thank you. Smaller fish. Nice dark fish. Okay, maybe I'll start doing a countdown. Now these, so I've got the Calabatus nymph and the Stillwater nymph on. They are slightly weighted, so they will sink a little bit, but they don't sink as fast as the beadhead hares here. And that's why I usually fish them with the beadhead hares here. But these are, you know, these are consistently catching fish, so no reason to switch yet.
A few moments later.
So I'm switching to the gold ribs hares here because it's deep here. I'm gonna prospect, fish the clock, and then move on. I'm not gonna stay too long here. I don't see any fish, and so if I don't catch anything, you know, in like 6 or 12 casts, then I'm gonna move on. Okay, fishing down to 15 seconds so far, and I've had 2 grabs on 2 casts, but nothing real solid yet. So 15-second countdown. Slow twist retrieve, which is kind of hard with the wind. Okay, this will be the first cast without a take. So, oh, what was that? So, let's move to a different quadrant. There we go. Dude, he wants to stay deep. Oh, I can see 2 fish. Strong fighter. Trying to stay deep, get in the weeds. Doesn't look to be very big. It's a nice fish though. I'll get him over here. There, yeah, that's a really nice fish. Ugh. So I'm gonna continue to fish the clock on a 15-second countdown, and then I'll go back and I'll go down to like 25 seconds, and we'll see if I can get in some bigger fish. And I was just thinking that I wasn't gonna get a fish on this side, but another fish. 15-second countdown. About the same size. So I think actually I think I'm gonna go down to 30 seconds. I'm gonna try to accelerate this. Snaky. Uh-oh. Well, here's the fish. Okay. I went down to 30 seconds. Got a strike immediately. And then ended up landing, not landing, but hooking this fish with a lot of head shaking. dude is... Now he's going into the weeds. Come on, get out of the weeds. Jeez Louise. Maybe he's foul hooked, because it doesn't look like that big a fish, but I can't get him up. Jeez Louise. Really? Now he's in the weeds. Okay, come on. Come to Papa. Yes, he's foul hooked. That is the problem. Okay, I've caught fish at 15 seconds, caught fish at 30 seconds, but they're all the same size. So I'm going to go down to 60 seconds this time. So no strikes when I went down to 60, which means that I'm basically fishing underneath all the active fish. So between 15 and 30, looks like then I can catch fish, but below that, you know, maybe even at 45, but still, I'm looking for bigger fish, and I was hoping that they were deeper. So I'm going to head over to the inlet, see if there's anything over there. This cove is filled with, you know, the same size fish, same sort of a deal. Shallow weed bed, cruising fish. Because of the fact that I can count down to 15 and still catch fish, there's probably not any reason for me to be fishing this beadhead, because it seems like the same quality of fish at 15 seconds or 30 seconds, and they don't seem to be taking the beadhead. So better to fish two productive flies and maybe do a slower count. Rod caught a fish on his 10-car rod. He was fishing a spinning rod before, but I think the 10-car is better suited for at least these fish, because they're close enough to the bank where he can get out and he can fish a fly slow. You know, he can fish a fly with a really slow action. So I think for what we're seeing today, the 10-car is much better suited. Well, nothing seems to be going on at the inlet. I'm a little surprised I'm not seeing any fish in here. There's a fish over there below that tent. I got into a nice fish. Looks like a decent sized fish too.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of campsites scattered around the lake. The only reason that I don't camp out here is because of the wind, because it's so exposed. Put a stimulator on just for the heck of it, because there are a bunch of hoppers around, and I'm just kind of curious if they'll come up for a hopper. No, he turned away. What about the others? Some curiosity, but no. Interesting. That's too far away. There, that's right. Ooh, spooked him. Okay. Did he come back? No. Yeah, I guess they're not interested in hoppers or stimulators. I thought they might be. I really did. It's 2:30. Fishing has slowed pretty substantially.
I think I'm just going to make my way back to camp. I may check out that one run with the marshy bank, see if there's anything going on there. It's 3:15 and we're back at camp, and I think I'm pretty much done fishing wise. You know, I had a pretty good time. I got some decent sight fishing in, caught a bunch of fish. You know, they were all respectable. Didn't get into the bigger fish that I was hoping to get into on this trip. But I had ample opportunities. I had that one that I saw today, which I'm pretty sure would have gone at least 17 inches. And the one yesterday that was pushing that was pushing that massive wake. I mean, that must have been a huge fish. So I'm gonna go down, clean my socks, put them out in the sun, hope they get, hope they dry. 4 or 5 o'clock, probably start a fire, test my filtration system. Apparently, if they freeze overnight, then they break. So, fortunately, with this system, there's a way that you can test the integrity. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and we'll see how things go. To test this thing, what you're supposed to do is take this off. That's the dirty side. Put the dirty side on. Open up the clean side. And then, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got those little bristle things. And I'm supposed to force the water through. Let me get the air out. Force the water through and see if it's coming in uniformly. I guess it's coming in uniformly. Kind of looks that way. It's not really bubbling up in one place. And I see bubbles, but I see bubbles everywhere. So I guess that's a good thing. So I guess I can use it. Get my platypus. Put that on. Screw that on top. And we're making clean water. Aha! I knew that was going to break. And I wasn't going to put a whole lot of pressure on it. Shoot. So it broke, which it's known to do. And I knew that was the case, and I was going to hold it so it wouldn't break. And of course, that didn't work. So at least when it breaks, it doesn't rupture the dirty bladder, so I can still use the dirty bladder. Although I don't want to be. I don't know. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. I'll go home and I'll put some Gorilla Glue or something on it, see if that works. And the other one will probably break too, and I'll probably have to do the same. Well, I guess I'll figure something out. I guess I can walk around with it. It's less painless than pumping, but I'd rather not have to do this. Maybe I can figure out some way to wrap this portion around a branch and let it sit. I mean, my original plan was to pump like 2 liters or less at a time, and yesterday I pumped 1.5 liters, and that seemed to work fine, and today I just put a little too much water in. So now I'm going to try to get all the water out. And then I'm going to have to sleep with this in my sleeping bag so it doesn't freeze. So I'm thinking about making a tinder bundle for the fire tonight, and I am the worst person when it comes to tinder bundles. So I was looking for some bark, and I don't know, I think this might be helpful. You know, get some strips of this stuff. That should probably work. I don't know, because I'm really rubbish at this stuff. Okay, so I grabbed some bark. I'll go back to camp and break it up. And there's dry grass everywhere. My friend John says, just use dry grass. So I'll try that as well. And then I'll get some fat wood. And as I'm picking this, I presume the stuff that just kind of comes off without me really grabbing it, you know, just all coming off my hand. I presume that's the stuff that I want. Okay, I'm going to take these 2 pieces as my platform. And then, so, these 2 pieces down like that. And I'm going to get the dry grass, put that in the middle. I get all these strips of cedar and do the same. And I'll get some fat wood from there, and hopefully that'll work. Backlit. Take a little bit off. Okay, here's my little tinder bundle. Let's see if I can get it going. Got my dark timber tavi and my ferro rod.
Got some sparks, so there we go.
Nothing's lighting. Nothing is lighting.
I don't think it got the grass though. There we go. Woo. Got a little nice little sap bundle next to that burnt tin too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now it's going.
Breathing pretty good now. Woo! Burning my feather sticks. It's a big, pretty chunky piece right there.
Yeah.
You got a pretty chunky knife too. Get it! Yeah, that might take some work. No, it's going.
It won't be too bad.
After a while, you could just kick it. Oh yeah. Yeah, that thing's got some weight to it. Big old knife. More efficient than a beaver. Look at that. Oh yeah, get in there now. Taking pretty big chunks out.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. Easy as please.
Success. That's what happens when you bring a big knife.
Yep. 4:30. Got a nice little fire going. You have anything you want to cook?
That's what I was thinking. Maybe I should have kept around those trout.
It's not too late. I mean, they're all over the creek. It's hot, hot, hot. So that's the end of day 2. It's 6:45, and it's a little bit cooler than it was last night. I can already feel it. The fire is dead out. I put in, 12 liters of water, so it should be pretty well out. It is a little bit colder than it was yesterday. I'm not too concerned about that. It's one of those embrace the suck moments. I'm not worried about getting cold. I've got plenty of layers. I've got layers I haven't even tapped into. But I do have sore spots from last night. So I'm not sure how I'm going to manage this second night. But I got to manage it, and tomorrow afternoon when I get home, it'll be a memory. So, it's just one of those things you got to do sometimes when you're backpacking. Anyway, if you've gotten to this far, thank you for that. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you for coming along.
The hills are calling, where the lakes are my home. Leave the stress behind, find peace in my mind. With the still water flowing, lines I'm throwing. Loneliness is not here, there is life everywhere.
Whoever came up with a locking mechanism on these bear vaults must not camp. I mean, why would you do this little thing? I mean, it's especially when it's cold. This thing is almost impossible to get into, and it is so hard to push this in and twist it at the same time when your hands are cold and dry. It's ridiculous.